you're a social media manager and you are here because you don't know how to analyze those analytics on Instagram, this one is for you. But of course, before analyzing the content, make sure that you know how to create monthly content calendar, how to generate content ideas without using ChatGPT, and do the content planning, because all of those three we already tackled it last week. That's why if you still don't know how to do those three, feel free to stop this video and watch those first, because this video is connected to what we did last week or on the previous videos. Why? It is because the content or the account that we will analyze today is also the content that we have generated content ideas last week, and also the ideas that we already planned on the last video as well. And now let's continue on how to analyze content in your insights on Instagram. And before to analyze those content, guys, let me give you some context that the account that we will analyze today is I started growing that account last May 12, 2025, which up to this date, today is May 23, and here's the proof. I don't know if you will see it, but today is May 23. It is already 2 weeks since we post content strategically, and it is time for us to analyze it to see what's content's working and what's content is not gonna work for this account. Are you ready? Let's go. And this is the account that we will analyze today. And this is my travel account that I have rebranded 2 weeks ago. In analyzing contents here on Instagram, it's very important that you know, or you have to make sure that you are aware on each of the analytics. For you to see the analytics using this desktop, because what you see here is very different on what you will see on your cell phone. But on today's video, we will use the desktop version. You will have to go to dashboard and see the insights of the account. You just have to toggle this arrow. Here you will see the overview of the account insights, meaning it is all of the insights inside the account. And this is the first step in analyzing the account. You need to be familiarized on each insights. Since Instagram is very beginner friendly and always giving us some information, I need you to read this info right here for you to familiarize yourself what is this insight all about. So views, the number of times your content was played or displayed. Content includes reel, post, stories, views, live videos, and ads, like everything. So meaning we gained 239,000 views for the whole 30 days. But since we only rebranded this 2 weeks ago, let's try the last 14 days. And there you go, we see the difference. Compared to 30 days ago, which is 239,000 views, and to 14 days ago, which is 229,000. Meaning, on the last 30 days ago, we don't have much views. But since we started rebranding this account, we gain a lot of views when we start posting consistently. And analyzing insights, we don't only base on views. We base on interactions and followers. Also the profile visits or the profile activity. So again, you need to read this info right here for you to know what this insight all about. And we have the same thing on the followers, and we also have the same thing on the profile activity. Here, you will see all of the details that you need to check what content works really well to your account and what content is not. That's the first step in analyzing. You need to familiarize yourself on each insights. And next step is the views. We now have to focus on our views. Go ahead and click the content and then click views right here. You will see top content based on views. When analyzing content based on content views, is you need to remember the social media goals of your client. So one of our goal is awareness, or to increase more views in an account. Based on what we see on this content insights, based on views, we saw that this content reached 180,000 views. And now let's see the content and figure out what content pillar we use for this content. and see the insights of that specific content. So on this content, we gain 184,000 views. We also gain 7,780 interactions, which is 5,000 likes, 44 comments, 300 saves, and 2,300 shares, which is very important in an algorithm. And we also gain 40 followers, meaning that content pillar is working so well for this account. So we used travel diaries for this content pillar. If you guys remember the content calendar that we have created, we have content pillar travel diaries, meaning you need to produce travel diaries on the future month because it works so well for your account based on the content insights. You need to check the second, third, and fourth top performing content as well and see what content pillar you use for that content. So let's click this content, analyze the insights of a specific content. Just like the top performing content, it gains 34,000, most likely from non-followers, and we gain 2,500 interaction. We also gain new followers here on this content. What content pillar we use to this content? We actually use realities. So if you guys remember as well, we have life realities as a content pillar, meaning these life realities and travel diaries are the two content pillars that's working so well on that account. That's why we need to produce more content based on that content pillar. And same thing on the other content. You have to check. And then, of course, if we have the top performing content, we have the low performing content. So since last 14 days, what is the content that we have posted that is low performing? Based on what we see, this one. It is a carousel post and not a real content. And most of the views are from followers only, not non-followers, unlike what we saw on the top performing content. And let's see what content pillar we use on this content. We have the digital nomad or nomad life content pillar, meaning that pillar is not working so well for this account. But it doesn't mean that we don't need to post that content pillar because on what we see on this fourth content that performs so well is about nomad life as well, but this time it is a real content or a real format. And most of the views are from non-followers, so meaning the carousel format type of content is not performing on this account because this 4.7 views is a nomad life content pillar. This 742 views is also a nomad life content pillar. But since we experimented a carousel one and a real one, the nomad life is performing and other people love that content as well. It's just that we use the wrong content format. In analyzing content based on views or based on our goal, awareness, carousel is not a good content pillar for us to achieve our social media goal to increase more awareness. That's why if you want to still achieve that awareness goal for the future days or future months, you need to post Reels content because Reels is performing so well on this account based on the analytics. There you go. By content type, Reels is 98% and Stories 1.9%, Post is 0% because it doesn't reach other people or non-followers. And I hope this makes sense and you understand everything about the views. The third step in analyzing content is the engagement. Let's now proceed with the content, then click this and interaction. There, we see the difference. When we click the views, the top 1 and the top 2 is still the same, but the top 3 and the top 4 has changed. It is because the content that we have created don't have the same goal. We only have content that we have created for brand awareness alone, and we have content that we have created for engagement alone. That's why on our goal, let's see our goals here, followers, awareness, and engagement. So, there are contents that's specifically created to increase awareness, and there are content that's specifically created to increase engagement. You need to remember that not all content that we have created is equal to each goal, because we need to create content strategically to achieve the social media goals of the client. Same thing as views. We need to see what content increase engagement for this account. We already reviewed this three, the top three. Let's see this one, the top four, which gained 132 engagement. Let's analyze the insights of this specific content. Most of the views are from non-followers as well, but almost half is from followers. We also gained 132 interactions, but we did not gain new followers for this content. We need to know what content pillar we use here. We use here is the freedom. So we have the travel freedom content pillar, this one. Meaning, we still need to push the travel freedom for us to increase engagement. Based on our insights, what are the content pillars that work so well when it comes to views? The life realities, the travel diaries, the nomad life, and when it comes to engagement, the travel freedom. We didn't see any place records, but we can't actually remove that because that achieves our goal, which is the collaboration. We can't reach those accommodation to collaborate with us if we are not going to post the place records. But since we are still in the process of rebranding this account, because this account just almost 2 weeks of rebranding or posting content strategically. We don't have to rush things. That's why our goal is to bring more awareness first and interaction, followers, and then it is time for us to post place records for us to encourage more accommodation to collaborate with us, because we have lots of followers and we have lots of views already, which most of the accommodation wants in a content creator. And that's how we analyze the views and the engagement. Actually, it is the same thing when it comes to followers. And too bad for us that we can't see the content that gains a lot of followers. But as you can see, we can only check how many followers that we gain on this content if we check the content insights itself. But if we will check the professional dashboard or the overview of all the content, we are not able to check how many followers that we gain on a specific content, just like we did on the views and on the interaction. And the good thing here now is we have the shares. Since one of the metric of the algorithm to push our content to other people or to more wider people is it does need to have a lots of shares. If your content will make people share it to their friends, to their stories, meaning it will push more to other audience. For example, my content is being shared by people who have 2,000 followers to their story, meaning it is possible for that content to reach more another 2,000 people, because that people who shared that content have 2,000 followers. And that's how we analyze content, to see what content performs well and what content is not, and to also check what are the content pillars that we need to push more content for the future months. Based on our content insights, we need to push more life realities and the travel diaries, more likely on the activities that we did when we travel, because that's what people likes. So you need to also categorize it when it comes to content format. Is it reels? Is it carousels? So the reason why analyzing analytics is very important, because it is where we analyze content that's not performing well and content that's not going to perform well because of the results that we receive or we see in our analytics. And as a social media manager, I usually do it manually, which is what we did earlier, just checking and seeing those analytics and analyze it on Instagram. Actually, I use my cell phone to analyze it, because analytics on our cell phone or Instagram application is more better than what we see here on our desktop, which is the analytics on Instagram using desktop. But if you are a type of person that can't analyze analytics manually, which what we did earlier, so I have a template here. help you to analyze everything clearly. Actually, I only used this template when I was a beginner social media manager when I tried TikTok because I don't know how TikTok works, and I also can't read and analyze those analytics. But when I started to enjoy and love analysis, I don't use this template anymore. So feel free to screenshot this and create your own template too. And as a social media manager, it's very important for us to do the analytics and love doing analysis, because analytics is actually the love language of social media. It is where we see, and it is where the social media let us know what content we will need to post on the future days and what content that we need to stop posting because our audience don't like it and they are not interested to those kind of content. I hope you've learned a lot on this video, and if you want to learn more about social media management, make sure to follow me on Instagram and also on TikTok. And I also have playlists here in more categorized way for you to easily learn about social media management, and I will see you on my next video. Bye bye.